Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on graphing piecewise functions. Before we learn how to graph a piecewise function, we got to learn what a piecewise function is. So a piecewise function is a combination of two or more separate functions. So basically what a piecewise function is, we're just going to take patterns that we already know, and we're going to graph two or more in one coordinate plane. We're really only going to be graphing two. Later in advanced algebra, that's when you're going to be graphing three or even four functions in one coordinate plane. So here's an example. First, I have an absolute value, and then I have a square root. Piecewise functions don't have to connect. You see how there's a gap in between here? So this one stops, the absolute value stops at negative 1, and the square root, the eyebrow, begins at 0. This is an example of a quadratic in which the value, if you notice, these actually come together. So they can connect at a closed circle, and then here's a linear function in a quadratic, so they also connect, but they can connect at an open circle, meaning it's not included. So real quick, let's kind of talk about, remember from unit 4. If I have less than or greater than, remember those are the open circles. If I have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, those are the closed circles. What you're going to need to do is first off, you must use a pencil. We're definitely going to be erasing. Okay? We'll go through these checkpoints as we go through the first example. The first thing I like to do is visualize what two functions I'm graphing. The first function, the other is a square. It's going to be a quadratic, so U-shaped graph heading up. And then see it's left, so I know it's going to be open. So it's much more so than computer. Here, I have a eyebrow graph, a square root going up, and if it's greater than or equal to, it's going to be a close. The first thing I'm going to do is this quality tells me where I'm going to switch functions. So once I cross 4, I'm switching functions. So what I like to do is graph a vertical line where 4 occurs, which is right there. This is the line that you'll end up erasing at the end. It's just honestly there to help us so we know when to switch functions. Right? So see, this is square root. Let's start with a quadratic. Quadratic is less than 4. So this is 4, less than 4 is left. So on the left side, I'm going to have a quadratic, and on the right-hand side, I'm going to have an eyebrow. If you notice, look, doesn't the less than symbol look like an arrow? Yep. So I know it's going to be to the left. Also, the greater than symbol also looks like arrow, right? So it's going to be the right of the line. All right, so let's first go ahead and step in the quadratic. Remember my vertex? It's the opposite, so 3, 2. So I'm going to go right 3, up 2. Right? And I'm going to start with my pattern. I'm going to go right 1, up 1. Do you notice when I go right 1, up 1, I'm on the restriction line? That is the only time you have to determine if it's an open or closed circle. We already know that, and it's open. So I'm going to draw an open circle. Now, I cannot continue to go right 2, up 4, because on that side of the line is my square root. So, but I can continue going to the left. So I can go left 1, up 1, left 2, up 4. I'm not going to draw the parabola all the way. I'm going to start at that open circle and then continue on the other side. Because again, over here, on the right side of the line is supposed to be my eyebrow. All right, I'm going to draw my eyebrow now. So it's -4, so go right 4, up 5. Notice you're on the line. Again, when you're on the line, you have to determine if it's an open or closed, and it is closed. Now I'm going to continue my pattern. It's right 1, up 1, right 4, remember 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. Draw your eyebrow. The last step is to erase the line, and that's your first piecewise step. All right, let's go ahead and figure out the domain and range. So again, domain pretty similar. Do have arrows on both sides. If you're saying yes to that, domain is all reals. Now the range gets a little bit harder. If you notice, this arrow is going up and this eyebrow is also going up. It's going up a lot slower, but again, over 9 rather than 3, so I'm still going up. They're both going up. That means y is going to be either greater or greater than or equal to. So think about it from the left, we look at the lowest point. If the lowest point is a closed circle, and use the greater than or equal to. And what is that y value? 2. And let's find f of 5. 5 is 6. All right, let's go ahead and try some more. All right, so number 2. I have 2/3 x plus 3 if x is less than 3. Remember, 2/3 x plus 3 is a linear function, so it's a line, and it's going to be rising because my slope is positive. Let's go ahead. What's my slope? 2/3. My y-intercept, 0, 3. I have the absolute value bar, so it's going to be a V-shaped graph. All right, let's go ahead and draw my restriction line. My restriction is going to be at 3. Come over here, 1, 2, 3. Draw that restriction line right there. Remember, you won't be erasing that line at the end. Okay, so I have x is less than 3. Notice the arrow. So I have the line on the left of the line, and it's going to be open. It's going to be open because it's less than. Okay. I have my absolute value. Again, look at where the arrow with the inequality. It's going to be on the right side of the line, and since it has the or equal to the line, to be close. All right, let's go ahead and plot my line. My first part, remember I plot 0, 3, the y-intercept. And you're going to rise 2, right 3. 1, 2, 3. Notice you're on the line. Remember, when you're on the line, that's when you have to determine if it's an open or closed. And since it's open, we're going to do an open circle. Now, I cannot continue to go up to right 3 because look, I'm on the absolute value side of the coordinate plane, so I'm going to stop. But can I get some points down here? Yeah, just go backwards. So I'm going to go down to left 3, down to left 3. I'm going to fall until I can't go any further. I'll connect your points. Again, you're going to start at the line and then go on, right? Because once we cross this green line, that's when I have to graph my absolute value. All right, let's go and graph my absolute value. It's -5, so I go +5 plus 1. Remember my pattern for the absolute value? It's right 1, up 1, right 2, up 2. Left 1, up 1, left 2, up 2. Notice you're on the line. What type of circle? And it is closed. Right there. So again, I'm not going to continue with my absolute value. I'm going to start at the line, the green line, and then I'm going to continue over there. That's it. Erase the line. Domain, again, pretty simple. Because I have arrows on both sides, my domain is going to be all real numbers. My range, see how I have one going down and one going up? On the previous example, they were both going up. So that's why I used greater or greater than or equal to. If they were both arrows going down, I would use less than or less than or equal to. And if they're opposite, it's going to be opposite numbers. And finally, f of 0 is 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to example number 3. Alright, so I have x minus 3 squared minus 2. That's going to be a quadratic facing up. And I have the absolute value of x minus 7. That's going to be a v facing up. I know it's facing up because there's no negative sign in front. Alright, my restriction is at 4. So I'm going to come over here and graph it with a vertical line. So again, that line I will be erasing at the end. And that tells me where I'm going to have to switch patterns. So, over here, look, my arrow is facing this way, so I'm going to have the U on the left side of the line, and it's going to be open. Make sure you pause your video in case you're having trouble figuring out if it's an open or closed. Come have Mr. Gerardo and Miss People followers come and help you. Here, the arrow is facing this way, the value is greater than or equal to. I'm going to have my absolute value on the right side of the line, and it's going to be closed. All right, let's go ahead and plot my absolute value. Each time I plot that, I go right 3, down 2, and remember my path is right 1, up 1. Notice you're on the line. What type of circle do you have? We've already determined that. That's open. Now, can I continue to go right 2, up 4? And your answer is no, because you're on the absolute value side of the graph. So now you're going to keep going left 1, up 1, left 2, up 4. Now be careful when you connect and you actually draw your quadratic. We're starting at the open circle and then we're moving on. We don't continue the arrow over here because on the right side of that blue line, I have to have my absolute value pattern. All right, let's go ahead and do x minus 7. So it's minus 7, so we'll go right 7, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my pattern is right 1, up 1, right 2, up 2. We're going to continue to the left. Left 1, up 1, left 2, up 2. Do you notice I did not reach the blue line? The goal is always to get to the line because that's when we determine if it's an open or closed circle. So sometimes you might have to continue your pattern. So if I go left 1, 2, 3, how many do I go up? 3, which is right in that open circle. Okay, I'm on the blue line and I know it's a closed circle. So I'm actually closing in that circle. And again, you can go ahead and go right 3, up 3 as well. So again, we're going to connect and make my absolute value and erase the line. So in this case, I'm going to connect my two functions, and one is open and one is closed. So it actually just looks like a closed circle. All right, let's talk about the domain. The arrows on both sides. So my all range of my arrows going up, down, or opposite. I should say that they're going up. So remember, up means it's greater than or equal to. We look at the lowest point. The lowest y value right here is 7, negative 4. Since I'm talking about the range, I'm going to use the y value, and since it's closed, I'm going to be greater than or equal to. So y is greater than or equal to negative 4. All right, lastly, find f of 4. F of 4 is negative 4. All right, let's go ahead and do the next example. Hopefully this is getting a little bit better. All right, so in number 4, I have a linear function that's rising. Let's talk about the slope. What is m? M is 1/3, and what's the first point on the plot? 0, 1. My next function is going to be a falling line. I know it's falling because my slope is negative 2/3. And my intercept is 0.7. All right, when I'm going to draw that vertical line that I'm going to erase, I'm going to draw it at 3. Right here. All right, let's go ahead and this first line. We need to figure out which the rising and the falling on left and right. Notice what the arrow is for the inequality. So I'm going to have the rising on the left, and it's going to be open. I'm going to have my falling on the right, and it's going to be closed. It has the or equal to. It's got the left. All right, let's go and plot right here. So what's the first one I plot? 0, 1. Am I on the correct side? Yes, because I'm on the rising line. I'm going to rise 1, right 3, 1, 2, 3. So here I have an open circle. We like to determine that. Now can I continue to go up 1, right 3? Nope. So I'm going to fall 1, left 3. Fall 1, left 3. Fall 1, left 3. Again, I'm not going to extend my line all the way, just I'm starting at the open circle and then I'm moving on. All right, a little bit trickier for this first line. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start at 0, 7. Now I'm going to plot that point, but do you notice something? Am I on the correct side of the line? No, I'm supposed to be on the right side of the line. So it's okay, we'll just keep plotting, but we know we're going to have to erase this at the end. So remember, my slope is negative 2/3. I'm going to fall 2, right 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I reach my line, and I have a closed circle. Now I'm on the correct side, so I'm going to keep falling 2, right 3, falling 2, right 3. But remember, I'm going to have to erase this because I'm on the wrong side of the line. Remember, this line is only supposed to be on the right, so just erase that. Sometimes you'll have to erase that. From here, you're going to connect your points and erase the line. All right, so domain, do I have arrows on both sides? You're going to answer that a lot, and it's going to be yes. Make it all yes. Now my range. Are my arrows going both up, down, or opposite? They're actually both going down. So remember, down is less than or less than or equal to. Look at my highest point. See how it's in a closed circle? And that point is what? 3, 5. So we're going to choose the y coordinate. So it's going to be greater than or equal to 5, less than or equal to 5. And lastly, what is f of 3? Oh, well, look at here. Which one do I choose, 2 or 5? Remember, we're never going to choose the open circle because it's just less than. It's not less than or equal to. We want to have it equal to -3. Oh, oh, sorry. This is -3. I was looking at 3. Well, that's a good question. If that equal to find f of 3, it would actually just be simply choose the choice. Let's type finding f of -3 right here. It is 0. All right, let's do the last question. Here, I have -2/3, which is a falling line. My slope is going to be -2/3. My y-intercept is 0. Here, look at quadratic, it's going to be an upside down quadratic, which is a reflection, right? Where am I going to draw that my y right at 0, so I'll do the y-axis. First, I have my arrows less than 0, so it's my falling line on the left, and it's going to be an open circle. So I have my arrow on the right, the upside down quadratic on the right, that's going to be closed. All right, let's go ahead and start plotting my. So I first start at 0, 1. Notice you're on the line. So what type of circle do you have? Open. Now my slope is down to right 3. Because when you always go to the right, the line is always to the right. But since it's negative, I'm going to fall first. So down to right 1, 2, 3. If I plot that point, am I on the correct side of the line? No, because look, I'm on the upside down parabola side. That's okay. How do I get points up here? Remember, go backwards. Go up to left 3. Up to left 3. Remember, when we're going to the left, that we're always going backwards. I'm just going to go ahead and erase this first point because that point is on the one side of the line. And I'm going to extend and connect my points. See, I have a falling line. Now on the other side, it's -2, so I'm going to go right 2, up 1. Okay. And now remember, instead of going right 1, up 1, since there's a reflection, I'm going to go right 1, down 1, right 2, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, I'm going to go left 1, down 1, left 2, down 4. Again, you're on the line, and you have a closed circle. Now again, we're not going to continue my drawing my quadratic after this point. So I'm going to start it here, then I have an arrow over there. First step, erase that line. From here, let's go ahead and do the start arrows on both sides. Yeah, are they both going up, down, or opposite? Well, I have one up, one down. If they're opposite, it's easy. The range is all the way. And lastly, what is f of 1? F of 1 is 0. Please go ahead and stop the video and complete your piecewise homework.